Ale fail. Siema Kacpro. Siema, siema. A co, dzień Wagarowicza? No tak, wagaruje. Ale tak oficjalnie, czy po prostu nie poszedłeś? Dobra. Co tam w ogóle słychać? Jak tam życie? Po prostu nie poszedłeś. A, ty niegrzeczny, ty. A później będzie. Naganne zachowanie. O, Kacpro. Szybko tego donate'a nie przebijesz. Czekaj, ile to jest? Tak w ogóle, siema. Siema. No, 100. Ale przynajmniej jesteś słupkiem. Jeszcze jesteś na liście. Co ja miałem tutaj zrobić? Znajdź papierosy i zapal. Znajdź odznakę. Wytrap swoją broń. Zapłać za szkody. Może zagadajmy z tym typem. Na dobry początek dnia. Słuchaj dalej.
From another planet. Hey there.
Nie zacznę od prawa, to ja. Co się tutaj dzieje?
It's the jam, my man.
Jaki korek?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all around clusterfuck.
A, CS-ik? Nie no. Nigdy nie wkręciłem się w oglądanie CS-a. Nie, blokady rolników są wszędzie. Teraz cała obwodnica Lublina jest zastawiona. A co najgorsze, ma być zastawiona do jutra wieczora. Akurat jak mam wyjazd. Korek drogowy wszechczasów. Bramportu jest zamknięty na 4 spusty. Bez słowa wyjaśnienia, robotnicy strajkują, łami strajki, agitują, ogólnie rzecz biorąc, pierdolnik.
Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days.
Limbo, co? Więc to w nim tkwię.
Yeah, exactly.
Od jak dawno tu jesteś?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Ekstrawagancko powiedziane, ale rozumiem cię.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
Może kiedyś Kacpro, jakiś Dying Light. Albo The Island. Ale to kiedyś.
So tell me, what do you need?
Masz jakieś fajki?
Nope, don't smoke. Some of the other
Niestety.
drivers do, though. There's still a few around, waiting for the jam to disperse. Or waiting for the sweet release of death.
Yup, nothing wrong with that statement. Your senses have nothing to add. You left the ask around elsewhere.
No to rozpytam w okolicy.
You could also check the kiosk down the street. Frit. With 3 T's. Rebishaw's weird.
Znajdziesz może jakieś drobne dla pracującego pijaczka. Boże.
Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay
Wkurzaj
for
mnie
unfinished
słuchawki
work.
coraz bardziej.
The bosses, man.
Nie wiem, za kogo uważają się ci szefowie, ale brzmi to jak dobry układ dla nich.
Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself.
Wiesz coś o zabitym, tym, który wisi za tamtym hostelem?
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
Zajęty czym?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
I jaka konkluzja?
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
Nie wiem, Kacpro. Poza tym na razie nagrywasz z bratem Minecrafta. Powiedz mi więcej o tym strajku.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
Czego domaga się związek?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
Czego twoim zdaniem chce firma?
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
Jest coś jeszcze, co powinienem wiedzieć?
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
Wszyscy, czyli kto?
Us lorry drivers. Cam, your nurse. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
A ty nie?
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Co właściwie przewozisz?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Time to arrest him.
Ostro. Zawsze chciałem mieć kumpla w półświadku.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing.
Nie no, spoko, Kacpro. Niczego nie wymagam. Dresiki.
They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Ilmoran market lately.
Mógłbym dostać jeden z tych dresów, które przewozisz?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
A więc nic nielegalnego?
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
Ogólnie z Dead Island nie wiem, jak tam wygląda fabuła, bo jednak wiem, że są questy fabularne i nie wiem, jak to jest zrealizowane, kiedy gra się koopa. Czy po prostu się rozgrywa misję, czy nie wiem, jest faktycznie fabuła, tylko jedna osoba ma interakcję. Na przykład jak z Nieziemskim kiedyś grałem Remnanta i żaden z nas wcześniej nie grał. To była trochę lipa, bo tam w koopie tylko jedna osoba miała dialogi ogólnie i cutscenki. Także zrezygnowaliśmy z tego. To twoja maszyna? To za tobą?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
Tak, całkiem fajne są te ciężarówki.
Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracksuits need to find their way to the kids way out in Wamrau and Loran Bird somehow.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent too long in this lorry.
No dobrze, mam inne pytanie.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
Co widzisz w jego oczach? Spróbujmy.
Ease into it.
Fuck.
Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
Chłopie, wydajesz się smutny, co się dzieje?
I'm okay, man. Just the jams got me down. The fumes, the chemical rainbows, the tarpaulin stretched on the frames and the dull engines off.
Maybe the full-on direct approach wasn't correct. Damn, it's tricky business looking into someone's eyes and not doing it wrong.
To na razie wszystko, miła rozmowa.
Don't be a stranger.
Nie wiem, Kacpro, pomyślimy. Dobra, z tą gadałem. Powinienem się do Werlin in Rax. Wow, jakiś ścinka ostra. Co tu się wydarzyło w tle? Mam wrażenie, że po ostatnim update'cie OBS-a on trochę wariuje. No właśnie tego się też boję, Kacpro. Jednak jak znasz fabułę... Wejdźmy do środka, miałem zagadać też z menedżerem. Ten typek to wcześniej był łysy? Śpiący pracownik portowy. Przy stole śpi mężczyzna w ściągniętym do połowy kombinezonie i oblepionych błotem butach. Na plecach jego koszulki widnieje napis Wild Pines, zamknięty w logo z motywem drzewa.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Weź tabletki.
The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
Oczywiście od razu ładuję w morale.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Mam plus do rzutu, bo wpadłem wcześniej na wózek inwalidzki, tak? Spróbujmy.
There is only one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
Pobudka, rozkaz, prawo to ja.
Why the yelling, man?
Ty żyjesz? Wyglądało to na permanentny knockout.
Wait, what? No, he was just sleeping. What do you want, officer?
Officer, even after a rude awakening, this dock worker respects the police more than they usually do at least.
Wiesz, Kacpro, to nawet nie jest kwestia spoilera w Black Flagu, bo ja gram w Black Flaga. Przeszedłem go wcześniej na 100%. Po prostu jeżeli ktoś ogląda, na przykład nie grał nigdy, nie wie co się dzieje, to trochę inaczej to traktuje. To człowiek ogląda to z perspektywy widza, tak jakbyś oglądał film. Wtedy też nie chcesz znać fabuły do przodu, tylko chcesz to obejrzeć na bieżąco. Tak samo jak nagrywałeś Mirage, to przecież też pamiętam, że chyba w pierwszym odcinku czy drugim wspomniałeś, co będzie dalej, bo już grałeś wcześniej, nie? To tak trochę zbija immersję. Widziałeś coś ciekawego w swoich snach?
Thank God, no.
Powiedz mi, czy była to absolutnie wolna od ex czegokolwiek błogość?
The worker stares at you, his eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers his tanned forehead.
Mówisz, znudził ci się Mirage? Nie przyszedłeś?
I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir. But when I'm out, then I'm really out. No X anything. Just quality time.
A little me time in the abyssal pelagic zone. You can never return to it now. Only detective work remains.
To się nie liczy, Kacpro.
Wakefulness and detection.
Powiedz mi o Wild Pines.
That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
Jak ci idzie?
How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside?
Oczywiście, że tak, kompletnie wariatkowo.
Good. Then you understand the gist of it. We would all be better off without the employers and their employment. For one, I can get some goddamn shut-eye. Right to sleep, I say.
Czemu ty śpisz, kiedy inni strajkują na zewnątrz?
Nate got it. Majoret's got it. He's guarding the gate. I'm just getting some sleep. Or was.
The way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess. He seems like a worthy rival. You should slay him.
What the fuck? Dlaczego zabić od razu? Kto jest odpowiedzialny za organizację strajku?
We are. The workers. The union. We know what we need. What's right for us.
Czyli nie macie żadnego przywódcy?
Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart. Knows how to negotiate. He's got our back.
Co jest z tym ciałem na podwórzu?
Yeah. What about it?
Zdaje się, że ci nie przeszkadza. Wiele takich zwisa wam tutaj z drzew.
You know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch, another one falls in a manhole, a third one gets eaten by stray dogs. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern?
Ktoś musi przyjrzeć się tej sprawie i zdaje się, że ja tym kimś jestem. Powiedz mi, co wiesz.
I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he has reasons to be cautious here.
Kłopoty to już przyszły, chyba że wisielce na drzewie nazwałby się jakoś inaczej.
They say your guy was a killer. Your tree man. He has friends, same as him, killers. There's only one thing they know well. How to wreak havoc.
Chwila, kto tak gada?
Everyone. It's a local rumor.
Twierdzisz, że może dojść tutaj do przemocy?
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook. So Union people think he was a killer, he thinks. Even sleepy hair. This doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective.
Pyskówki w Walhali były... Pyskówki w Walhali były specyficzne, ponieważ polskie tłumaczenie sprawiało, że nie miały sensu. Tak totalnie nie miały sensu. Człowiek wybierał opcje, które wydawało mu się, że się rymują, ale się okazuje, że w oryginale się nie rymowały i wpadał fail. Także... Ale to był ciekawy pomysł ogólnie. Takie minigry. To twoje? Wskaż na butelkę i rozlany rum.
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. Oh, it's empty. Sorry about that, pal.
Dobra, pozwolę ci spać.
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table, in sweet sleep. That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
2 godziny?
An hour would have been bad. 2 hours is mystical. You have truly wiped out all trace of yourself if you haven't thought about rum and lemonade yet.
A tak właściwie to powinienem o nim myśleć? Zdaje się, że picie nie wyszło mi tak za bardzo na dobre.
Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade into yourself, boy. Or better yet, lick that stain off the counter.
Polisz ją, ale tylko trochę.
Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you, licking the tasty rum stain off the counter, but only a little, then out of
Tylko
the
trochę.
window again.
What are you doing?
Jestem alkoholikiem, potrzebowałem grzdyla.
We should move.
A real drink would go well with those cigarettes you're looking for. That's a great combination.
Porozmawiajmy z Gartem. Dwie sprawy. Klucz do śmietnika. Kuchnia jest otwarta. Klucz do śmietnika i... Co ja chciałem?
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust,
Alkohol.
occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Goranci and Kubek.
Gorący kubek.
It must be his name. Goranci.
A,
Goranci
logika.
Kubek. Sounds representative.
Dzień dobry, ma pan chwilę na kilka pytań?
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
Masz tu naprawdę wspaniałe garnki.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Chyba nie potrzebuję nic więcej, nie rezygnuj ze swojej męskości. O Boże.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimpled lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
Ciekawi mnie, dokąd prowadzą te drzwi.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads?
Przyciąga mnie ten kobaltowo-niebieski kolor.
It is quite pretty. I suppose we could look into it as a side investigation.
Te drzwi, główne dochodzenie zespolą się w jedno stereo dochodzenie.
If you say so, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Dotknij drzwi.
The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side.
Spróbuj pchnąć drzwi.
The door does not budge.
Dobra, idziemy do Garta.
Can I help you?
Ten pojemnik na śmieci na trochę jest twój.
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
To prawda, pod blokami też tak ludzie robią. Na poprzednim osiedlu, na którym mieszkałem, raz zrobili mega chamską rzecz. Ktoś w nocy busem przyjechał i pod śmietnikiem, który był zamykany na klucz, zostawił masę worków ze śmieciami. Dosłownie stertę taką wysoką.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
John Marston, to przez kapelusz Kacpera.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
Ciekawe, co to za uczucie.
Prod at him and find out.
Czy to nie bezduszne strzec przed ubogimi nawet swoich resztek?
Callous? What are you? Kras Mazov? Almost all establishments in Revachol keep their trash locked. The Whirling in Rags is not special in that regard.
Potrzebujemy tych kluczy. Albo nie, gdybym ja ci tak powiedział, że... A gdybym ci tak powiedział, że ja jestem żulem, albo wkrótce nim będę, zacznę grzebać w tych śmieciach, mnie też przed tym powstrzymasz?
Yes.
ale ja potrzebuję tych resztek, żeby przeżyć.
Sir, I'm sorry the RCM is having financial trouble, but it's not this establishment's problem.
Potrzebujemy tych kluczy.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Widziałem coś tu w Whirling Guard. Coś, o czym musimy porozmawiać.
What thing?
Widziałem znak z informacją, że stówka jest zarezerwowana dla związku.
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
Szkoda, że musisz podlizywać się związkowi, żeby nie pójść na dno.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
Jak ich znajdziemy?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even men on strike.
You glance at the clock on the wall behind the manager. Huh.
Jest po 16. Na znaku było napisane, że rezerwacja od 16. Czemu nikogo nie ma na stołówce?
Good question.
They're probably getting drunk or protesting something somewhere, or laying low after the, lynching.
Whatever he may feel about you, he can't miss the opportunity to throw you a look of what he assumes is shared understanding. Go with it.
Kiwnij z zamyśleniem głową. Tak, chyba rozumiem.
Yeah. The union guys think they're untouchable. They probably fucking killed that guy or something, and now think they can hide out till it all blows over, and it's fair weather again in Martinez.
I have a feeling we'll make their acquaintance sooner or later.
W głębi kuchni znajdują się tajemnicze niebieskie drzwi.
Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Wiesz, co jest za nimi? Masz.
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Podejrzewam, że chciałbyś wiedzieć, co tym jest.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that.
Czyli nie ma klucza. Jest jeszcze coś, o co chciałem zapytać.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Swoją drogą zamierzam śpiewać tu karaoke.
Absolutely out of the question.
You wait and see, cafeteria manager.
Aha.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit.
Muszę się napić, nalejesz mi drinka?
Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
He sounds irritated.
Wydajesz się poirytowany. Czemu? Chcę tylko drinka.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie and doing this? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? No. Do you know why?
Bo nie jesteś barmanem?
That's right. I'm the cafeteria manager. I'm glad we cleared that. Was there anything else?
Proszę, zrób wyjątek. Strasznie mnie utrzęsie, stary. Potrzebuję klina.
Even more reason for me not to serve you, sir. Was there anything else you needed other than
widzenia.
alcohol?
Do widzenia. Ach, niewiele się dowiedziałem. Znaczy, dowiedziałem się sporo, ale pojawia mi się masa questów i żadnego nie rozwiązuję. Potrzebuję łomu, ale mam też klucz. Chodźmy do śmietnika. Ach, ta muza. Cool, no. Jeszcze jedną rzecz zobaczył. Przed chwilą zmniejszyłem opcję, ale... ale wróćmy do tego, co było wcześniej. Nie wiem.
This trash container is locked.
Myślę,
The
że to
sliding
kwestia
lid
OBS-a.
has a padlock that says "whirling in rags."
Otwórz kłódkę kluczem.
With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine, Hobocop. Dive into that dumpster for extra content.
To twoja chwila chwały, żulicjancie. Nurkuj w tym śmietniku i znajdź coś super. Czy ja nie miałem przeczucia, że coś w środku jest?
There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid.
Otwórz pokrywę.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Grzebieg na żulicjanta przystały i znajdź coś ekstra.
Wow, an Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon. Half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny.
Co to jest sztucer wielolufowy?
It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels. And is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000. Easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself.
Kolekcjonuję.
That's too bad, because none of those things are actually in there. There's just food waste and crisp wrappings.
Okrutny żart. Coś tam musi
All you
być.
see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the Yellow Man frolicking in saffron.
To zabytek?
Only in its social sensibility.
Weź kubek. Spójrz pod kartonowe pudełka.
You see milk
Tak.
and egg rest with
Tak,
one
Kacper.
broken egg in it.
A czasami mój
pasta
krawat.
wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
Przybieraj w szmatach.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers.
Weź je.
As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer.
Włóż spodnie do torby.
Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but
Dobra, ale dowiedzieliśmy się od Garta, że pojemnik jest zamykany na klucz. I klucze ma tylko on i firma sprzątająca. Więc Gart coś wie.
the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
Sięgnij po to.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
Włóż koszulę do torby.
This is a military type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just garbage.
To chyba wszystko.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
Myślisz, że ktoś z Werling mógł mieć w tym udział?
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and this establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
Tak, trzeba spytać dzieciaki, kto je tu wsadził.
The fuck's he on about? Kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See?
Dobrze, przejdź
The
dalej.
lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container.
Przeszukaj resztki jedzenia.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly. Unidentified sludge and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this?
Co?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something.
Wyciągnij go.
Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes. Written in a man's handwriting.
Pewnie nasze notatki, które Sylwii wyciągnęła z kibla.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
Nie wiem, co to
It
jest.
is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind my asking, how could you have let your paperwork end up in the trash?
Roztaczają jakąś złowrogą aurę. Może musiałem je zgubić, aby rozpoczął się wielki rozlew krwi.
What are you talking about?
Mówię w językach.
Doeth thou also thorough inventories? You should take stock of your notes. Make sure it's all there. Official notes contain informants' names. If some of it has fallen into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, bloodletting may well ensue.
Dobrze, tak zrobił.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
Dobra,
The
zamknijmy
container
wkrył.
sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Tremble. The time is now. Taola.
Czas na co?
Time for the show. For Taola. The hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself. The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. All life will scream.
Taola? Co to jest?
Ulogu Theodos, Xino Zausin, Ipoli Osidien, Echondes Fronisin.
Aha, czyli jednak mówimy w językach. To przez to moje godne... Zaraz, kiedy to odliczanie się niby zaczęło?
Monday morning, the moment you arrived in this reality, are the first crack in the sheer face of God. From you it will spread.
To przez to moje godne szaleńca głoszenie końców świata, prawda?
Yes, you spoke the words of the Palindropos and the houses of Pericarnassus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself.
Trochę się boję.
So you should be. The world island
Trzymaj się,
crumbles at your
Kacprom.
feet, and in the far
I
plain,
uważaj tym na siebie.
Palindropos. Perhaps, just a thought. This has something to do with the hangover.
Czy ja chcę w to iść? Zostać takim dumerem? Faktycznie mam wrażenie, że świat może się niedługo skończyć.
The face of the woman fractures.
Gliniarz
There will be
apokalipsy.
herd killing. We all become vapor.
Zbadajmy tą myśl. Obudziłeś się w pokoju hotelowym i zacząłeś gadać o końcu świata. Nie jest to typowe dla ciebie czarnowictwo. Nadciąga coś prawdziwie potwornego. Zmrok. rzeź, rozlew krwi na niewyobrażalną skalę. Do tej pory wystarczała ci błoga nieokreśloność prawdziwej natury tego kataklizmu. Ale koniec z tym. Wpisz rozlew krwi na wokandę i naprawdę zrozum, co zagraża delikatnej fizycznej rzeczywistości, w której się dopiero co odnalazłeś. Nie mogę zinternalizować. Za mało punktów umiejętności. Szkoda. Ale muszę mieć to na uwadze. Dobra, interakcje. Mogę wejść w interakcję z 3 rzeczami na razie. Kubek z żółtym człowiekiem.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
Prawdę mówiąc, można tu odczytać wiele. Spójrz na te wszystkie treści.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Będę pokazywał go każdemu handlarzowi, jakiego napotkam i będę mówił, oto twoja bezmyślna ideologia.
So again, you dug it out of the trash. Why? It wasn't going to offend anyone there. Why don't you just get back to your case?
Zobaczmy notatnik.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Coś jeszcze?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper, desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard. It's a metaphor for you. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
Spójrz na papier toaletowy.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Odczep go.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
Spójrz na zacisk.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
Przejedź palcem po aluminium.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
Poruczniku, czy to jeden z tych holograficznych znaków wodnych, o których mówiłeś?
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
Ciekawe, jakich informacji.
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Jak mogę go odczytać?
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
Jak na przykład?
All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
To wszystko, dziękuję.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight.
Przejrzyj białe dokumenty.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Co tam jest? O czym one są?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you.
Było coś o konwencji nazewniczej?
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
Ojej, w dodatku są napisane wersalikami.
Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
Jeszcze jakieś?
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
Kim moje sprawy najwyraźniej są nazwane wedle jakiejś konwencji.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
Nie, chodzi mi o nienumeryczną z tytułami.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
Dlaczego?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
Widzę, że nazwałem jedną ze spraw morderstwa z kwadratowymi kulami.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out.
Co mi się stało?
Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Policz strony. Muszę stworzyć oficjalne akta sprawy. Mam na nie miejsce?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Udokumentuj.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Get the body down. Interview the cafeteria manager.
Wykreśl te zadanie, które już wykonałeś.
A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Poruczniku, czy nadałeś może przypadkiem naszej sprawie nazwę?
No, actually. Any ideas?
Dla furii lustra to dom. Gówno na patyku. Zachodzące słońce. Niech będzie dla furii lustra to dom.
Furies. Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal strife that it refers to. And also, could you make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name, you know? Think, what would that be? A
Gówno
good
na
normal
patyku.
name.
Zdecydowanie gówno na patyku.
Ah, yes. I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. Other officers will have to use this as reference. If it's idiot or cockfinger, they're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger were on this case. So, do you have something less funny?
Fun is outlawed with this guy. What a knock!
Zachodzące słońce.
Okay. It's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has nothing to do with the setting sun. At all. It has nothing to do with that, so... Something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete?
Dobra,
Mundane.
wiem. Wisielec.
Usual is boring. We don't do that.
Wisielec.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Nie chcę już tego czytać.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Przejrzyj żółte dokumenty.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out.
Jakie są rodzaje formularzy?
3. The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
Autopsja polowa.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form, waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs, color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs.
Mandat za wykroczenia.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
Wezwanie posterunkowe.
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
Dobra, dość o tym.
Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
Spójrz na podkładkę.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters RCM.
Mówisz, że jakiego jest koloru?
Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it.
Siema, Krzysiu. W śmietniku grzebałem. A co? Potrząśnij notatnikiem.
Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment?
Zajrzyj do środka.
The plastic shimmers like
Wiedziałem,
lapis
że to
lazuli,
powiesz.
but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center.
A gra też spoko. Jak mogło to otworzyć?
With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Dobra. Na to mam większe szanse. 58%.
Is not
Kurwa.
what you end up doing. You squeeze the plastic to slide it open, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some. Then crack it. The goddamn thing is stuck. A hot flash of rage comes over you. For a moment there, before it recedes, you feel as though you might just squeeze a tear of anger out of your duct. Makes you wonder, why? It's unjust, that's why. You can't even get to that thing anymore. The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the pages rustle. This pathetic mess suddenly afraid of you for some reason.
Spróbujemy jeszcze raz. Co? Rzut na logikę?
It's proving
28%.
to be harder than expected. You just don't have the intellectual rigor to patch the quilt back together. Try again later.
Jeszcze powąchajmy notatnik ze śmietnika.
The acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner.
Dobra. Więc niestety niewiele mi to dało. Ale możemy skoczyć do samochodu i przeczytać znaki wodne.
Hey, psst,
Co tam? Rozejrzyj się.
psst, hey,
Że ja?
you. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Znowu?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
Mnie miłość się bardzo dobrze poukładała. Jestem miłosnym zwycięzcą.
Good. We need tender men like you building gargantuan communism. Word on the street is it's going to be 10,000 times larger than any communism previously attempted by human beings.
Dlaczego
Is
nie
that
mam
right?
opcji powiedzieć nie chcę zbudować komunizmu, komunizm nie działa? Jakim cudem ulica coś gada?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Nic podobnego nie mówiłem.
Okay, not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
To zbyt męczące, nie mam w sobie ikry. Jestem zmęczony i zniszczony.
Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless anyone has objections. Did someone mention cocaine? Are we doing cocaine? No. I'm sure I heard someone say cocainism. Anyone? Anyone else? There's one.
Co powinienem zrobić?
You should build communism. Precisely because it's impossible.
Dlaczego moja siła woli każe mi budować komunizm? Nie, zamknijcie się. Chcę leżeć bezwładnie i dać się unieść prądowi. Co do kurwy. Nie będę
Inside,
komunistą.
You see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Czekaj, kurwa. Czyli to jest przez to, że jak zbadałem kubek ze śmietnika, to nie odrzuciłem idei rasizmu, tylko sam konsumpcjonizm? Więc od razu wcisnęło mi komunizm? Czyli mam tylko dwie opcje, być komuchem albo rasistą? Kurwa jak w życiu. Kim jak się włącza reflektory?
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage.
Wciśnij rozruch silnika.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Kinema comes to life with a whiny growl.
Cieknę kurwia. Wciśnij przycisk z podpisem reflektory.
The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Spójrz na migoczącą siatkę ulicy.
The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Chwila, rozejrzyj się wokół.
A rat brazenly darts past you and disappears amongst the stopped lorries. In the distance, a child somewhere shrieks. A woman reprimands her in a voice no quieter than the child's cry. In the middle of a broken plaza, in a cone of light, barely visible in the daytime, two men, one slim, the other sturdy. They are on the city stage, but only one of them knows his lines.
Ah, Martinez.
Gdzie jesteśmy na tej mapie?
Let me see. Right here.
Na pewno widywałem gorsze miejsca.
Oh yes. Coal City. Le Royaume. The burnt-out quarter.
All of them worse than here.
Spójrz na perforacje.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows.
Zlicz poszczególne rzędy.
The first row has 18 dots.
A w następnym
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some.
policz każdą osobno.
There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 200.
Ostatni rząd.
The last row has 3 perforations.
3? Tylko tyle?
That's it.
Hej, Kim, co oznaczają te wszystkie otwory?
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Eee... Chlałem jak mega gwiazda.
Yes, that does seem quite likely. Your youth coincided with some heady days for Revachol. But let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see... Wow, more than 200!
To dużo?
It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Czyli twierdzi, że byłem super gliną?
Call it what you want. You were a valuable member of your precinct. Now, let's look at the last row. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
Confirmed kills. That sounds pretty evil. A drink would soften that feeling.
To nie za dużo.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her. Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
A ty kiedyś kogoś zabiłeś, Kim?
Yes.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
Jak sobie radzić ze stresem?
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies.
Na przykład?
Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now.
Może i ja powinienem sobie znaleźć hobby?
Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab.
Dziękuję ci.
The lieutenant nods.
No dobrze, chodźmy.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Dlaczego mam 4 punkty w komunizmie? Come on. O ile czaił, że jestem żałosny. Apokaliptyczny. Okej. To na pewno nie jestem kmuchem. Dobra, w co dać punkt? Szczerze. Świat chce mnie zabić. To na pewno. Świat chce mnie z każdej strony zabić. Przydałoby się wytrzymałość. Nasz intelekt się... tak, podbiją wytrzymałość. Dobra, spójrzmy, co tam mamy w notatniczku. Muszę znaleźć szlugi. Muszę znaleźć sklep, muszę znaleźć szlugi. Łóweczka.
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
Coś takiego.
This Post Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
Grzeczna skrzynka pocztowa.
The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
Też to przechodziłem, skrzynka pocztowa. Uwierz.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow. And then suddenly, you see it. Over all the other graffitos, someone has, using the tip of a very sharp knife, cut the words, Revachol forever.
Czy skoro poklepałem skrzyneczkę, czy chcę ją kopnąć? Nie. Z moim szczęściem złamił nogę. To bardzo dobra skrzynka pocztowa. Mam reklamóweczkę na śmieci. Zajebiście, będę mógł zbierać butelki. O tak, rajd po śmietnikach. Zbieramy wszystkie buteleczki i puszeczki. No, kliknąłem to. O matko, trzeba każdą po kolei klikać. To już trochę gorzej, ale jednak. Życiowa pasja, zbieranie butelek. Ściana poznaczona jest dziurami po nabojach. W sumie to punkcik do ekologii powinien wpaść. Czy butelki są? W jaki sposób? Zawiera 10 sztuk butelek. Czy ona ma limitu dźwigu? Tu leży puszeczka. Czy mogę zinternalizować poza tym gliniarz apokalipsy? Nie mogę. Mam za mało miejsca. Wolumetryczny ogarniacz główny jest niezbędny, żulicjant też. Dobra, pogadajmy z panami.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
Honey, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, all right?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never.
Nie powinienem najpierw spytać, w co w ogóle grają?
No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
72%. Okej. Jest szansa, że to się uda. Udało się.
You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter. You'll make it work. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. Time has frozen.
Zważ kulę w ręce.
The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Probably a sponsored ball. Yours would only be covered with bumps of learning and scars of victory. Already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating, until you and the ball have merged into a single entity. The man ball is ready.
Przyjrzyj się otoczeniu.
A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball.
Czas na ostatnie wejrzenie w głąb siebie. Kim jestem?
An embodiment of pure motion, a fine-tuned locomotor running at maximum efficiency. Behold the fear and confusion reflecting in the eyes of the two feeble geezers. They are in awe of your superiority. You are a god to them. Some would still say you're a cop, but I guess we're beyond that now.
Inercji uda się powstrzymać nie bardziej niż wylatującą z lufy kulę. Uwolnij się, stań się kulą. Co do kurwy? To nie na tym polega.
Merde! Bordel de merde! What the hell is your problem?
W jaki sposób to był udany rzut? Jestem bogiem lekkoatletyki. Czemu miał być ze mną coś nie
I
tak?
don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful.
A man his age getting worked up like that? Better watch that blood pressure.
Przepraszam.
You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 bull.
Och, to pytanka. Rozumiem. Myślałem, że to pchnięcie kulą. O.
Well, it damn well isn't. It's pétanque. You ruined a pétanque game. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull.
Dobrze, spróbuję to naprawić.
Good. Mistakes are forgiven when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
Just talk. It'll smooth things over. Old people like attention.
Widzę, że grać w kraterze.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Czy to ma coś wspólnego z tymi wszystkimi śladami kul, które tu wszędzie widzę?
Yes. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
No dobrze, to jest krater pozostawiony przez ogień artyleryjski, ale dlaczego?
Why what?
Dlaczego użyto ciężkiej artylerii?
Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Zaraz, kim właściwie są ci komunardzi?
Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose a name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality.
A wy? Użyliście kiedyś przeciw nim ognia artyleryjskiego?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
Po co ostrzeliwać ich tu, w Martinez?
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first.
Przyczółek?
Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol.
He finds your lack of historic knowledge troubling, a sign of mental deterioration in the preceding generations.
Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Śmiertelny cios. Brzmi ponuro.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Zaraz, koalicję.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil.
Czy to dlatego wszystko jest takie zryte bombami? Nie wiem. Domyślmy się. Ach, to wyjaśnię te wszystkie wojenne zniszczenia.
Damn right, son. They laid the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too.
He approves of this radical approach, knows it was necessary.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still all influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Obce siły posprzątały nasz bałagan, a teraz nami rządzą.
I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frissel had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case.
Dziadek jest royalistą.
This royal failure weighs heavily on him.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
Kim był ten Frissel?
Damn Frissel. He was the king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the Hyperlay, in a very public execution.
Wspomniał pan coś o Gilliam?
A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frissel. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Kim właściwie jest ten suweren?
The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already.
Soon, they will forget everything. Him too. Then he chooses anger over melancholy.
It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Dobra, lepiej nie. To będzie porażka i to totalna. Wiecie panowie coś może o mężczyźnie powieszonym na podwórzu Werlin in Rex?
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement, but this affair has passed me by completely.
A większości miejscowych?
In Martinez, the Union is the law, so can you really blame them?
Ale pan nie ma problemu z gliniarzami.
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
Spytam jeszcze raz, niczego pan nie wie?
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
This is a man with a lot of past, but little present, and almost no future.
Dziękuję za poświęcony czas. Coś mi
I
powie
have
drugi?
really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
Wygląda przepysznie. Mógłbym dostać gryza?
I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
The only one you have.
Suddenly you realize how hungry you are. The last time you ate must have been God knows when.
Proszę, stary, nie mogę chociaż gryza?
Believe me, officer, I wish I could help you, but I need this sandwich to keep my blood sugar stable. In my age, you need to pay attention to these things.
You can barely hear him. The sweet smell of pickles in harmony with garlic butter and marinated onions emanating from the sandwich is driving your mind in a singular direction. It must be yours.
Proszę, przyjacielu, podzielmy się nią.
Fuck off! It's mine! Sorry, officer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it in a bad way. But the sandwich is mine. I'm not gonna share it.
When the dissidents come to rape our country, he hides. But try to get a bite of his dear sandwich and he gets claws? You're a special kind of vermin, Gaston.
Niech mi pan powie, co pan wie o martwym mężczyźnie.
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
Naprawdę? Nie wie pan absolutnie nic?
No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Respects?
Brzmi to trochę, jakby nie mówił pan wszystkiego.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard.
Jakim jest ten Evrard, którego pan zna?
Evrard Clare. Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history, only heard about it years later when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea.
Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Jest pan członkiem związku?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debarders all know me.
Pod wieloma względami?
Oh, yes.
Czyli nie jest pan tak naprawdę członkiem?
Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Vezavane. Turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
W jakich to drobniejszych kwestiach pomaga pan Evrardowi?
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say.
Jakie rzeczy dla niego pan pisze?
Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Evrard and I have these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Dziękuję, to na razie wszystko.
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time.
Do widzenia na jakiś czas. Dobra, czyli nie do końca tak to miało wyglądać. Pozbierajmy więcej butelek. Skoro już mam siatkę,
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
powinienem rozwinąć percepcję też. Ile mam butelek? 15 sztuk, czyli 1 real 50 groszy. Bieda. Straszna bieda. Mam też chusteczkę, którą mogę sprzedać, ale to nadal bieda. Wiem, gdzie były butelki. Tylko pytanie, czy będę mógł je zebrać. Przecież cały pokój mieliśmy zajebany butelkami.
Kim also tries not to look at the pile of taped viscera on the carpet, or the weird suitcase on the hat rack, or the potted plant dying in the corner. But it's all just too morbid to ignore.
To tutaj dzieje się magia.
And by that you mean crimes against humanity?
To ekspresja mnie samego, mojego indywidualizmu.
I have no idea what that means.
No pytanie... Tak, mogę podnosić te butelki. A tą? Tu dużo butelki na podłodze, nie? Wydawało mi się, że jest ich więcej.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
To jeszcze nie czas na odpoczynek. Ale fakt, jest trochę butelek. W łazience niekoniecznie. Powinienem skoczyć do sklepu po fajki. Po tłustego, smacznego papieroska. Są ludzie, ale nie mogę z nimi gadać. Dobra. To nic. Informacje mapy są niekompletne. Come on, jeszcze nie tak dawno miałem mapę.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Pogrzeb w pudełku.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic, the kind of plastic that melts in the sun.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool while doing your dangerous police work.
Nie, jak rozwinął konceptualizację, wrócę tutaj. No, spróbujmy 8%. Sukces! What the fuck? Tego się nie spodziewałem. O, no proszę, parę niebieskich okularów. Napis przy lewej skroni głosi podinsulindyjskie spotkanie, matką. Prawko wydaje się ręcznie wycisane z kości.
Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture.
This
Przymierz
is
je.
how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster. Giant, hidden, and strangely tender at heart. All is blue. Yes, but they also make your soul quiver like jello. So deep.
Wow, officer. You look so cool. And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've got no taste. But you found them.
The lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough examination. It's a case to him.
You look like a musician. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take them if you want.
Na razie odejdź, nie mamy hajsu. A szkoda. Wracamy do rajdu po śmietnikach. Rękawiczki bez palców. Z bonusem do elektrochemii. Którą i tak mamy zaskakująco rozwiniętą. Na saft mogę się wyleczyć. Ale wstrzymam się z tym. Na razie mam 4 punkty. O nie, masło spadło.
Evening, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
Salami.
His posture is relaxed. Despite his powerful build and a knife in his hand, this man resorts to physical intimidation only infrequently, if at all.
Po kolei. Co pan tu robi, mężczyzno przy śluzie?
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and grey overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami.
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer?
Wiesz, co spowodowało te zniszczenia?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Rivershoal.
The words "daredevil driver" sound ominous to you.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything round here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
Mogę poprosić o trochę tego salami?
Sure thing. Want some too, officer?
Why not?
Wie pan, co jest dalej na brzegu?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Dobra, do widzenia. Może zróbmy quick save. zanim się utopię, bo jeżeli wejdę w interakcję z tym billboardem,
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blond boy depicted.
co to jest samarskie masło?
Whatever it is, the boy on the billboard seems very happy about it.
Matematyka wzrokowa, średni, 28% szansy. Spróbuj odtworzyć wydarzeń, do jakich tu doszło.
Just some tasteless advertising at the bottom of a canal. No use rubbernecking now.
Nie ma tu nic więcej do zobaczenia. Tego się spodziewałem. Laboratorie, szybkie pieniądze na szybkie czasy. Tutaj możemy znaleźć pewnie nasze rzeczy. Nasza postać myśli.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Przesuń wzrokiem po latarni ulicznej.
The light pole has been carefully cut and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly, but persistently.
Czy to latarnia uliczna?
Yes, officer. As you see, it's in perfect working order.
Skąd pan to ma?
It was brought to me to be altered.
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
Ile za tą latarnię?
700 real. A bargain, I dare say.
A bargain? No, it's not. He's trying to sweet talk you into buying trash.
Nawet biorąc pod uwagę ryzyko zdobycia takiej latarni, to chyba dość drogo.
There's also the matter of rewiring. But the most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago.
Dobra, i tak nas nie stać. Nie masz więcej pytań w sprawie latarni. Przejrzyjmy książki.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Jej?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine. This sounds off. You shouldn't trust this guy.
Wygrzeb z pudełka pod jakąś naprawdę czudową figurkę.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys.
Przyjrzyj się konnym rycerzom.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Kto to?
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
A long, long time ago.
Przyjrzyj się niebieskim mundurom.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
Zaraz, podobnie wyglądał René, ten staruszek, co grał w pętankę.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Wskaż niebieskie figurki. Czy to royalistyczni żołnierze?
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like the bright colours indiscriminately.
Przyjrzyj się figurkom w łachmanach.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
to są w ogóle żołnierze?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Nie sposób zwyciężyć z broniącymi stolicy kohortami. Proszę spytać mojego przyjaciela, Garta, czyją dziwką mnie to uczyniło.
Okay, I don't like either set too much, to be honest.
He seems to have his own take on the conflict played out in perpetuity by these toys. Might be interesting to find out what it is.
Coś jeszcze w tle?
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Stań na palcach, żeby widzieć więcej.
One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Tak przede wszystkim to chciałbym wiedzieć, czy to urządzenie przyda się w mojej pracy policyjnej.
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Like a beach party. With sand and sun and seagulls dancing on the breeze.
Odwróć się do Kima. Tak teoretycznie mógłbym zabrać go na imprezę plażową.
Theoretically, yes. But we don't have time right now. It's generally murder investigation first, then beach party.
Masz rację, tak naprawdę potrzebny mi na czas końca świata. Requiem dla wszystkich istot żywych.
It'll play that. Any requiem, really. Also dirges, madrigals, chants, as long as it's on tape.
Przepraszam, ten zatwierdzony przez Stereo 8 sprzęt.
Is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
No, nadal nas nie stać. Na pewno dobrze działa?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds and music from a variety of genres, even though I don't really like music.
To wszystko. Nie stać nas. Zagadajmy z Royem.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Skoro już jest tu Mor, proszę powiedzieć, miał pan ostatnimi czasy jakieś kłopoty?
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Szczerze mówiąc, niektóre pana towary są, przyciśnij palec do ust w zamyśleniu, w lepszym guście niż inne.
It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
58% szans, no come on. Czy Roy jest naćpany? Jeśli tak, to czym? Odejdźmy. Wiem, jak to możemy zboostować. Mamy rękawice pod elektrochemię. Tak. Tak. Dobrze pamiętam, elektrochemia? Tak.
Hello again. How can I help you?
72%.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's tough to come by on the street.
Pyrcholidonem? Co to jest?
A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
Wydaje mi się, czy jest tu naprawdę ciepło.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature.
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
Wskaż na jego ubranie. O co chodzi z tymi trójkątami na pana kamizelce?
I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. Had to take Pyrrolidon for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it?
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
Proszę mi powiedzieć coś więcej o tej ratowniczej brygadzie wsparcia, do której pan należał.
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. Tried to help the fire brigades contain the spill.
Tough son of a gun, this one. Respect.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick.
Stos ludowy? Co to?
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere. Probably some of it in you too.
Sprzątanie radioaktywnych odpadów musiało być ciężko.
There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened, and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment, and early deaths. Cancer mostly. And we knew all that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best we could.
Kto zawinił i doprowadził do awarii generatora?
No one's. Everyone's.
So much bitterness.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen?
Co sprawiło, że prowadzi pan teraz Lombard?
The clean-up happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died. Left me this shack and all the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forburg as I can. Still in the same city, but...
Dziękuję, że mi pan powiedział.
I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement, not vortices.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
A swoją drogą ma pan może na sprzedaż jakąś broń, na przykład taką używaną przez milicję obywatelską?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
What? Sold? The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
Aha. Chwila, sprzedałem panu moją broń?
With Kim here too. That just sounded really.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
Czegoś mi pan chyba nie mówi.
You weren't quite yourself, officer.
Jak się zachowywałem?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
Aha.
You sucked on a gun? Good. Very normal.
Chwila, za ile sprzedałem panu tę broń?
15 real.
The lieutenant looks from you to Roy, and then back to you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be a bad dream. It's not, though. This has got to be the most. Wow. There's pity there too, in case you didn't notice.
Bardzo mi przykro, że musiał mnie pan oglądać w takim stanie. Możemy przestać o tym rozmawiać.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Kupująca też była policjantką.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside.
Też mi się to nie podoba. Co jeśli zamierza popełnić przestępstwo i obwinić o nie milicję obywatelską?
You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
Wie pan może, gdzie mam szukać tej kupującej?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
No, przynajmniej wiem, jak straciłem broń. Porozmawiajmy o czymś innym.
Of course.
Może zdoła mi pan pomóc w śledztwie?
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Wie pan coś o niedawnym powieszeniu?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
No one likes to see what you have to see every day.
Może pan pomóc mi w zdjęciu ciała z drzewa?
The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted platform or anything of that sort myself. Ask around the harbour. There might be some workers there who'd be willing to help.
Właściwie to już wszystko.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Chciałbym coś sprzedać.
Let me have a look.
Sprawdzę w kieszeniach.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Sprzedajmy chusteczkę. Nie będę sprzedawał zdjęcia trupa, ani swoich ubrań. Nie mam chwilowo nic na sprzedaż.
Another time, perhaps.
Czy podzieliłby się pan ze mną perycholidonem?
Have you tried it before?
It's almost like he's worried for you. The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care.
Chyba jeden raz i spodobało mi się.
Here you go, man.
Yes, darling. That's the coalition government ordained parolidon. Straight into your gut. Not so sure about this.
Zaraz, czemu miałbym nie wiedzieć?
Because it's an anti-radiation drug and you're a cop. Not a post-apocalyptic scavenger.
Niby fakt. Dzięki, stary.
Of course.
Mam na razie inne sprawy do załatwienia. Odejdź. Dobra, nic więcej tu nie ma. Ale mam trochę hajsu. Może skoczy... Może wystarczy na fajki, kto wie. Sprzedajemy buteleczki, kupujemy fajeczki. I tak się powoli żyje. Przydałoby się mapa. Najsprawniejsi mężczyźni.
Welcome to Ivashol.
Czemu zwracasz się tak do mojego partnera?
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
Tak, powiedz mu.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
A więc jesteśmy w limbo.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Ivashol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Jasny chuj, Kim. Możesz na mnie liczyć.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Skoro mam to już wyjaśnione, to chcielibyśmy zadać kilka pytań.
Whatever you say, officers.
Znalazłem w śmietniku ten kubek. To twój?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
To twój?
God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
O co chodziło w tej kłótni?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Change the topic. The way he says it makes it almost sound like a threat.
A, czyli jesteś po prostu rasistą, ma to sens.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it.
Boże, kurwa, nie jestem tylko rasistą, jestem wykształconym rasistą. Czytałem książki.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally,
Ta
we
gra jest trudna,
Occidentals should be in
na wiele
charge.
sposobów.
Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
Tak, widać od razu, że jesteś doskonałym przykładem tego lepszego wzorca.
Open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? An unfortunate downturn, maybe? Huh? When members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority, they stop competing for resources.
Tak, i jaki jest z tym problem?
The problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other introduced species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
Chwila, czym jest to kulturowe zwycięstwo?
It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? No. Dominating culture,
is how they plan to win. They say so themselves.
Aha.
It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
Tak, myślę, że rasizm może mi podpasować. Może nie. Aczkolwiek druga opcja go trochę zrazi. Oczywiście, że w grze, Zamojku, nie w życiu. W życiu nie jesteśmy rasistami. I nigdy nie będziemy rasistami w życiu. Ale dobra, niech będzie. Naprawdę wolałbym porozmawiać o czymś innym.
Go right ahead. You may be a cop, but that won't help you avoid the calamity to come.
Lieutenant Kitsaraga's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense something there, below. Not a lot of moral fiber on this one yet, he thinks, wriggled out of it. What happened? Did your balls shrivel up? You had plenty of chances to get off this road, but no, you let this guy keep talking. Then, when the time came to make your choice, you tried to split the difference. Weak.
Czy ja w sumie zostałem zjebany za konformizm? Najwyraźniej jestem nijaki. Masz fajkę? To znaczy tak. Gdyby nie było ze mną Kima, myślę, że wybrałbym inną opcję. Aczkolwiek nie wiem, jak bardzo zjebałoby to naszą relację z moim głosem rozsądku w żółtej kurteczce.
No.
He's got a smoke right there, in his fucking hand. Snatch that shit out of his fat fingers. You need it after listening to his garbage.
W takim razie potrzebny mi ten, którego palisz.
Can't have it.
Dawaj go, konfiskuję go jako dowód.
Evidence of what? I haven't done anything.
Świetnie, świetnie, świetnie. Tak zmienimy zdanie.
I bet. Sorry I couldn't be of any help.
Co przywozisz?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
Czekaj, to od jak dawna to wszystko tu trwa?
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so.
Jaki ładunek masz odebrać?
Apples.
Jabłka?
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions?
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest, you were bested.
Na razie skończyliśmy. Ostatni śmietniczek. A, magnes. Podbijmy sobie morale. Dobra, kupimy sobie papieroski. Drobne leżą. Boże, czuję się naprawdę jak menel. 20 groszy. Żyć sobie ułożę. Siemanie ziemski. Co tam słychać, jak tam dzień mija? Rzuć butelki.
Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the
Kurwa,
money appears
majątek.
with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now. You're 100% sure you got special hobo cop money for that tier. At least 100% extra tier money. If the numbers on the machine told you otherwise, it's a lie. Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You should buy more alcohol. Enter the endless cycle of consumption.
Automatyczny zapis od razu. Bo stać mnie na wódę. Twoje zdrowie nieziemski.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
Zanim przejdziemy dalej, czym jest to cały frit przez 3T?
I don't know. Frit?
A czym jest frit?
A 7 to 11 grocery store.
Czemu w nazwie są 3T?
I think they think that the extra T makes it funkier. It doesn't.
Jakie czasopismo czytasz?
You mean this?
Pyta, spoglądając na okładkę z kolorowym zdjęciem dwóch całujących się dziewczyn.
This is Pop Stars. It's got like famous people in it. It's not for sale.
Looks like it also has something called Police de la Mode, featured on page 34. This speaks to you.
Mniejsza o to, co to jest za artykuł o policji modowej?
It's where they rate different outfits famous people wear. It's kind of funny. They're kind of mean. It's about who's the most stylish.
Kto jest teraz tam numer uno? I czy wygląda tak? Wskaż na siebie.
No, I don't think so.
We are not the fashion police. We're the real police.
Przejdźmy dalej, mam do ciebie kilka pytań.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but...
Czy Frit ma magazyn na tyłach Werlin Rags?
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
No dajże mi jakikolwiek punkt zaczepienia.
She looks up from under her brow.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
Możesz mi coś powiedzieć o ciele?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so...
Znałaś tego mężczyznę, który zginął?
Not really.
Nie bardzo? Czy to znaczy, że znałaś go trochę?
No. I didn't know him at all.
Od jak dawna tam jest?
I don't know, really long.
Jak myślisz, co się stało?
I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you hear anything, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Dziękuję za pomoc.
Uh-huh.
Możesz powiedzieć mi cokolwiek o rzeczywistości, w jakiej się znajdujemy?
Reality? You mean what reality? Economic reality or...
Tak, powiedz mi o rzeczywistości ekonomicznej.
I don't really know anything. I mean, I'm 15.
A możesz w takim razie powiedzieć mi coś o rzeczywistości fizycznej?
I don't know. What about it?
Jaki mamy czas?
I don't know. Look at the clock. It's right behind you on the wall.
The clock shows the time at 10:09. The hands seem to be still. It's apparent the clock doesn't work.
Gdzie jesteśmy?
We're in Frit?
Nie, mam na myśli, gdzie my jesteśmy, tak na większą skalę.
As mankind, or as a nation, or...
Jako ludzkość.
in a good place? I mean, science is doing great, and this radio computer thing seems to be kinda big. I don't know.
Koalicja? Co to jest? Ktoś mi coś o niej mówił.
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article.
Czym jest rewolucja?
When ordinary people take over the government and demand democracy.
A ta, którą mieliśmy tutaj w Revacholu?
Yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or so. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. At history, I mean.
Dobra, nie będę ci już zawracał głowy tymi bzdurami. Odejdźmy. A teraz pytanie.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
Co to jest? Wskaźny płaszcz przeciwdeszczowy.
What is what? It's a raincoat. If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Dobra, na razie nie. Ale chciałem papieroski kupić.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint-Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
Co dają te produkty?
I don't know. Let's see. Nosafed is a nasal spray. Duramine is a really good painkiller. Magnesium is a dietary supplement. Hypnogamma is... I don't really know what Hypnogamma is. I guess it makes you feel less shit. It's recommended to use after lots of partying, studying, or exercising.
Możesz wyjaśnić nieco dokładniej?
No. Sorry. I'm not like a doctor or anything.
Nosafed heals +1 health. Duramine heals +3 health. Magnesium heals +1 morale. Hypnogamma heals +3 morale.
Kim jest Saint Baptiste?
Saint Baptiste. You know, the pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals. The one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one. There.
Dobra, dobra. Proszę papieroski.
A colorful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
To nie jest dobre miejsce dla naukowca na odwyku.
Guess not, no.
Good thing you're an unrecovering alcoholic then.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Don't ask, don't look, don't do anything here. Just go away. Get back to work. Know this, you will never finish your alcohol quest if you don't buy beautiful alcohol.
Poproszę o papieroski Astra.
Here you go, mister.
No. I piwerko, potężny pilsner. Nie, na razie papieroski sobie wypalmy. Ciekawe. Gdzie to było? Znajdź papierosy. Tak, znajdź papierosy i zapal. Czy mogę w środku?
There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. The first Smokes platoon. 20 brave souls standing in salute, ready to step into fire for you, sir.
Wyciągnij jednego z paczki.
You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting for? Light up. Re-become yourself.
Oh yes, Bratan! Please light up! You need a trooper between your lips right now! Calm your shit down! Go to Pleasureland! Become a genius!
Odpalaj.
Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop, fishes a cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's fire. A primal satisfaction. Here we go.
Hey, you can't smoke in here. Please, don't fuck with Frit.
Don't fuck with Frit.
Shut up. It's already happening.
Jakie będą konsekwencje, jeśli to zrobił?
Repercussions. There's a high risk of glory, with a mild chance, cool genius. Smoking makes you into an intellectual. Everybody knows that. It will help you concentrate a bit. That much is true. It only lets you concentrate because you're in nicotine withdrawal. It only mitigates its own. Blah, blah, blah. Boring. Light it up.
Wyrzuć go w ostatniej chwili.
Already you regret it, looking at the pack. But don't worry. You can come back to this later. The army of smokes is honorable and faithful to you. You have your entire life to return to it.
You've passed up your chance to start smoking cigarettes for now, but don't worry. The option to start smoking becomes available again in 3 hours.
Czyli gra sugeruje mi, że jednak mam zapalić. Samouczek każe mi zapalić za 3 godziny. No come on. Ty jeszcze by się napił, nie? W sumie to zaraz 9.
Scab?
What did he just call you? A... Oh no, not this again. You just got away from that fucking kid.
Tak, jest tym umistrajkiem. Biednym i pogardzanym. Pomachy z odciśniętą pięścią, prawo do pracy.
Good one, officer. Don't worry. We here have solidarity with the RCM. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money. Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
Przyjechałem do Martinez zbadać sprawę morderstwa.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Prawdę mówiąc, to bardzo łatwe i
I
przyjemne.
don't believe you. Post Laventurier said the same thing. They tried to get me to be their postman. So fun, so easy, they said. It's just walking. It wasn't. I'm doing much better here at the harbor. Being an honest union man with a lot of free time on his hands.
Potrzebuję pomocy z pewnym ciałem.
Body still hanging in the tree? Hey, that's a rough pickle. Can't help you with that, sorry. I'm not really an admirer of dead bodies. Might be someone else from the Union can render assistance.
Czy to znaczy, że możesz przepuścić mnie przez bramę?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
Tak po prostu? Mogły sobie wejść?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
Minąć miaro głowego?
Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him,
Jasne.
then press the button to unlock the door,
Aha,
then go past him again,
dobrze.
and you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
Z jakiegoś powodu nie wydaje mi się to szczególnie łatwe.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. For example, you could best Measurehead in a physical confrontation, or you could convert to his Semini supremacist worldview, or maybe it actually is completely impossible.
Czyli jeżeli zostanę rasistą w grze, to będę mógł przejść, tak? A czy ktokolwiek pokonał go kiedykolwiek w fizycznym starciu?
Not yet, no. He's incredibly strong.
Nothing a couple of solid hooks from Dexter and Sinister won't fix.
A któryś z łomisterajków próbował przyjąć jego poglądy?
Jean-Luc himself would say the philosophy has proven overly heroic for the scabs to convert to. Not enough intuition.
Ja rozumiem też inną sprawę.
Sure.
A co w ogóle chodzi w tym strajku?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Miło się rozmawiało, muszę już ruszać. Dobra, więc muszę pogadać z dwumetrowym rasistą.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
Prawo to ja.
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
No nie.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
Chyba nie wybraliśmy jeszcze żadnej ze stron.
Might be time. Don't let the fat bastards tread on you. Cops tend to side with the higher-ups, but you're essentially still workers. I don't trust cops, but I can see you understand the
right to work! Right to work!
O jakiej sprawie mowa?
Rights of people, rights of workers, to have gainful employment, to make a salary, and feed their families.
Tak czy inaczej, mam do ciebie kilka pytań.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
So do we, Scab.
Kim są ci wszyscy łomisterajkowie?
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were
given a job to do!
Dlaczego typ wygląda na podstawionego przez firmę? Ja też chcę się dostać do portu.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. You trying to meet their fat boss?
Przesłuchuję ludzi w sprawie morderstwa, do jakiego tu doszło na tyłach tamtego hostelbaru.
I know nothing about a murder.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him. Interesting.
Czemu się tak spiąłeś?
What are you talking about? I'm not tense.
Yes, he's tense. And dangerous. Somewhere below it all.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup, open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
To zdecydowanie nie jest dziedzina, na której bym się znał.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
No dobra, muszę spytać. Skąd dokładnie jesteś?
What's it to you?
Przez moment wydawałeś mi się bardzo znajomy.
No, don't think we've met before. I came to help out the people.
Tak, to już wiem, ale interesuje mnie twoje pochodzenie.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
Na bramce? Gdzie? Bywam w wielu lokalach, może z nami ten?
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
W życiu nie słyszałem, czy ty kłamiesz?
We're done here. I have a strike to break.
Czyli podstawiony typ, no tak. Zobaczmy, co mamy tutaj. Z mi zaraz trzeba kończyć. Mam wrażenie, że nadal nie zrobiłem żadnego progresu. Biała bokserka. Stracimy konceptualizację. No. Załóż ją, pokaż klatę. Tak jest. Jak prawdziwy menel. Nie no, disco marynarkę założymy. Ach, nic tak nie mówi styl jak żonobijka.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods.
Kto to jest?
A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane. Not a good track record of mental health in that family.
Co ten król takiego zrobił?
What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. How would you know what this guy did many centuries ago?
Fakt?
High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your memory trouble.
Czego ja się spodziewałem? Pieniądz. Okradamy przyczepy.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your...
Babciu?
Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is grey like lead. No, this one is a monster in disguise.
Czy to jest ta kobieta, która kupiła mój pistolet? Przepraszam bardzo, chciałbym zadać kilka pytań.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Stryknij jej palcami przed twarzą.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
Dlaczego?
Why? I just told you why.
Skoro tak uważasz. Dobra, więc siłą rzeczy mam tylko jedną drogę. O, pieniądze na ulicy. Jeszcze tutaj coś jest.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Zajrzyj przez okno.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
Jakie naklejki i insygnia.
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels.
Czystość, tak? A co z tylnym siedzeniem?
The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
Myślisz, że ta ciężarówka należy do naszego twardziela?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
He was acting tough before. This probably scared him a bit. Who knows when it will come in handy? A slightly scared, racist lorryman.
Czyli jakbym jeszcze raz z nim zagadał, to by miał inne opcje dialogowe.
Looking for something?
Co przywozisz?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick apples. Fine.
He's
Dobra.
given you the runaround. Let's speak.
Czyli nic nowego. Za to mogę pogadać z Kimem.
Yes?
Come on, miałem przecież sprawę, wieczorny odpraw po 22. Nieważne. Zróbmy save'a. Miałem tu jakąś opcję. Aha. Tylko lokalizację. W razie strajku wcisnąć przycisk za strażnikiem. Zapiszmy to. Dostanę w pierdziel.
Your body betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Don't say anything. Size him up first.
Nic nie mów, najpierw ocenię go siłę.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Ab Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me.
Wypnij pierś, nadal nic nie mówiąc.
What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
You hear your heart pumping, fast and irregular. Your joints ache and you feel old, but still alive, somehow.
Jak słuchawki nieziemskie, no chujowo. Muszę uważać na kabel, bo jak go zruszył, to tracę dźwięk. Więc go cały czas poprawiam już odruchowo.
Stop it! You are embarrassing yourself in front of this woman and your pedomorphic friend. This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a stronger maternal instinct, but it is a liability here on Battlefield Martinez.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
Moje ciało nie zdradza mojej degeneracji.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick.
Masz rację. Jestem alkoholikiem i potrzebuję, żeby ktoś ściągnął z drzewa ciało Denata.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning.
Ziemski na tym etapie to rzuć monetą po prostu.
Show him the ham still got it.
Jestem policjantem i oczekuję, że się podporządkujesz i to już. Zrób krok w jego stronę.
Jerking motions. Signs of a late stage neurodegenerative disorder. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble and powerful race.
Nie no, Nieziemski, jeżeli chcesz wygodne słuchawki bez kombinacji, kup sobie te Bayer Dynamiki. Jeżeli chcesz słuchawki, do których jeszcze będziesz musiał przynajmniej kilka dych doinwestować, żeby dało się w nich siedzieć więcej niż godzinę, to kup sobie Audiotechniki. Tak, na serio.
You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic aircraft. You made great gains in metallurgy, race theory, and statecraft.
A, no i jak coś, to wiesz, no, Bayer Dynamiki są praktycznie pancerne, nie? Tam wszystkie części da się dokupić, raczej nie zużyją się tak szybko. Audiotechnika to plastik. Tyle z różnic.
You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Khoikos. But now your ascent to the genetic summit has halted. You are obsessed with sadness and with frivolous pop culture. You will be superseded. Isn't that right, babe?
Laleczko.
It is, baby, yeah.
A, to do
know
niej.
it.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor. This man is not budging. Let's hope his superiors inside are more cooperative.
To wasi ludzie umieścili tam ciało, więc powinni też pomóc mi w jego zdjęciu.
Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races to a great world war.
To znaczy Nieziemskie miałem na łbie Audiotechniki kiedyś. Tylko że M30 bodajże. I serio, to są słuchawki, w których więcej niż godzinę nie posiedzisz. Tak, te nauszniki męczą uszy. Nie potrafię ci nawet tego wyjaśnić. Ale jak sobie posiedzisz godzinę, zdejmiesz i założysz znowu.
Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, we will build a museum for you.
Siema, too cute. Tak trochę na końcóweczkę wpadasz.
With bottles of Al-Hul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the odes to homosexuality you call art, and your microcephalic skulls.
This is your chance. He's talking. Rip into him with a punch and catch him off guard.
Zrobimy to.
No, don't rip into anyone. You're sensitive. Remember? Communicate.
Dobra, czyli jak go walnę, to się może nie udać. To całkiem duża szansa jest na to, że się nie uda. Ale mam równie beznadziejne szanse na to, żeby zgodzić się z jego rasizmem. Służysz związkowi, nieprawdaż? Czy jego członkowie nie są biali?
Oh, don't be vulgar.
A no faktycznie dawno. Ale też ostatnimi czasy mało streamowałem.
Race enigma runs much deeper than that.
There must be some friction there. He's keeping it well hidden, however.
Tak niemniej wciąż im służysz. Jak to się wpisuje w twoje życie?
Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront
O, już ponad 2 lata.
polycultural capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
Ziemski praktycznie od początku streama. Tak. Wyobraź sobie robić coś przez prawie 4 lata i nic nie osiągnąć. Oto siedzę przed wami ja, chodząca porażka. Mój styl to tajemnicza 4. rzecz.
Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs?
Rozwinęły się we mnie dzięki disco.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done.
No więc taka była geneza disco. Oczywiście nieziemski, że coś zyskałem. Ból pleców od niewygodnego krzesła i wad wzroku.
I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
Bez kitu. Pamiętam jak na którymś streamie mi się kółko od krzesła dawno temu odłamało. Przecież ja się wtedy prawie wyjebałem. Nie, nieziemski to akurat było krzesło z Wiska. Żeby było śmieszniej, niedługo potem to krzesło złamało się tak, że odłamało mi się oparcie i prawie się zabiłem, bo walnąłem w parapet. Tak. Dobrze, wtedy kamerki jeszcze nie było. Także jeżeli chodzi o krzesła, to prowadzę długą i przegraną wojnę. Dobra, spytam, kim są Semenowie?
The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of ancient Pericarnassus and arrived here 4,000 years ago. Millennia before you. We are the future. That is all you need to know.
Czyli zostałeś urodzony i wychowany na wyspach, a potem przeniosłeś się do Rewaszolu.
I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme, waiting on immaculate conception from the pale.
Czyli nie przybyłeś z wysp.
No. I have heard about it on the radio.
He would be appreciative if you did not further chase this line of inquiry in front of the women.
Czyli nie jesteś tak naprawdę Semenem. Chodzisz po prostu z Rewaszolu. Semen.
I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Seminoles strategy. Spreading through its trade
Ja całkiem
networks,
długo
our
streamowałem bez
culture
kamerki.
will dominate the world. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never getting that dead body down from the tree.
Czyli mam utrudnienie do rzutu tylko dlatego, że mój własny charakter, moja zdolność przekonywania się ze mną nie zgadza, żeby go walnąć. Czyli można zrobić, nazwijmy to buildem, które się wzajemnie wyklucza. Kim, co o tym sądzisz?
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
Skąd wiesz, że będzie jakiś następny rasista? Nie no, prawdę mówiąc, ten poprzedni rasista bardziej mi się podobał.
That is understandable. The previous racist did not pose an immovable obstacle in entering the harbor.
These cops are just jealous, Jean-Luc.
Wiesz coś o tym kubku? Pokaż mu go.
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Wrzucałeś to może ostatnio do śmieci?
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it.
Does he strike you as the kind of man who puts mugs into trash?
No nie. Co oznaczają te twoje tatuaże?
Racists are generally not very good examples of their race. I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel.
Trzeba trochę zmiękczyć i zagadać, nie?
True. That is a noble cranium, but you got a hard noggin yourself.
Jesteś pewien, że nie jestem od ciebie kraniometrycznie lepszy?
You exhibit forward projection of the jaw.
Bardzo wiele nieziemski.
Of schizophrenia and sexual inaccountability. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the dimple in your jaw makes you look like a baby. This is not craniometry, just an observation.
Co jeszcze?
It is impossible to see any more of your bone structure. It is covered in the ravages of Al-Ghul. From what remain of your features, I can see fleshy lips, baldness of the head, and long arms relative to lower limbs. This leads me to conclude you are not a police officer. You are a common criminal, an offspring of murderers and sailors from Sur-la-Clé and Vesper, and possibly even the degenerate sheep-herders.
Zdegenerowanych pasterzy owiec. Ciekawe, czyli jakiś z moich przodków pochodził z Sur-la-Clé, inny zaś był Wesperczykiem.
Your racial heritage is uninteresting. It is the same as all Rivasholians. Your parents and their parents made the decision to reproduce while under the influence of Al-Ghul. That is the only reason you are here.
He's right there. It's almost impossible to get it on unless you're both drunk. It's too scary when people are sober.
Dobra. Nie mogę zapisać. Znokautuj go. 28% szans. Co się może stać?
How did this happen? Your little fist is in his giant hand.
A więc wpierdol.
It hurts.
You must be out of your mind, degenerate drunk. Say it. I am a degenerate alcoholic.
Jestem policjantem.
Your fist cracks in his hand like a ripe apple. Pain shoots up into your brain as he's twisting it more and more.
The words to the song have changed. Say, I am a violent drunk.
Nie, nic kurwa nie
Your
powiem.
hand twists in his grip and the pain blinds you. Still you press the words out of your swollen mouth.
Good. Now leave before you humiliate your homoerotic organization any further.
We still need to get into the harbor. We need help with the tree situation. There must be another way.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Skąd on odbiega?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
W sumie to kiedy tak słyszę w jednym zdaniu określeń funkcjonariusz i supergwiazda, brzmi to trochę dziwnie. Albo nie, tak, to właśnie ja pracowici buduję ostatnie swoje supergwiazdorstwo.
You have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen.
Tak,
Salem Rocky
jesteśmy gliną z wielkim
badass
kutasem.
on the edge of
Zdecydowanie.
Time to recede into a ludicrous
Diskolicjantem.
Here we go. Camera, lights.
Akcja.
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Dobra. Dobra, zjadła samokrytyka się za 49 minut zinternalizuje. Ale, moi drodzy, na dzisiaj... już... Coś jest nie tak z OBS-em. Jak przyłączam scenę, to strasznie tracę klatki. Po tym update'cie coś chyba się wywaliło. W każdym razie, moi drodzy, na dzisiaj to tyle. Zapiszmy grę jeszcze, żeby nie zjebać. Szkoda by było powtarzać 3 godziny życia. Także na dzisiaj to tyle. Jeszcze widzimy się jutro, a na weekend przerwa, bo wyjeżdżam. Mam dużo roboty na weekendzie. Także trzymajcie się i do zobaczenia. See ya.